Hey everyone, for those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Derek Royden. I'm a freelance writer. I have a new piece that will be up on the website nationofchange.org this Friday about kind of the trials and tribulations of Lula da Silva, the former president of Brazil. From the looks of things, the Brazilian election is shaping up to be something else. So I hope that you'll find the time to either come back here, you'll find a link for the article on Friday, or you can just go to nationofchange.org. I suggest check it out. It's a great site. So to get right to today's story, it took me a little while working on this one because there's a lot of kind of side reading I had to do, but I really thought it was kind of an important story because it's been in my mind lately that while culturally we see dystopia everywhere, in literature, in film, on television of course, most recently in the show Black Mirror, which looks at different kind of technological or tech-related dystopias, but we rarely, or really ever, hear of utopia, of course the opposite idea, which is an older one. The term was actually coined by Thomas More, who wrote the book Utopia, and as Chloe Houston explained recently, or actually a little while ago, in the Times Literary Supplement, or TLS, as More coined it, the term utopia means no place. The prefix ou in ancient Greek connoting negation, and also good place, and the eu suggesting well or good. So there was one kind of recent example of kind of a utopia in film, and that was in the movie Black Panther, where you could argue that the Kingdom of Wakanda, a technologically advanced place, is kind of a utopia. But there are some problems with, of course, this interpretation. One of them that I would say, but the one that you find within almost all utopian literature, is that this utopia is cut off from the rest of the world. This is what allows this utopia to exist. So in a sense, it kind of plays into those right-wing ideas of perfect states based on like ethnically homogenous populations. So I mean, even the idea of utopia, one person's utopia, I guess, could be another person's dystopia. But I do think, like, in the years coming ahead, that we have to kind of move away from thinking strictly in terms of how much worse things can get, and start thinking of ways that we can make the world better. So, like, one way that we maybe could do that would be through, you know, bringing in a universal basic income, so that people don't necessarily have to worry as much about housing or food, and that they can really pursue actually this dream of a new creative economy we were all promised. I don't know, it's going on 20 years now, but we'll have to wait and see about things like that. But I do think we should be thinking more about uh, what the possibilities are, rather than, as I said, how badly things can go. So towards talking about this issue, or this idea of utopias and kind of bringing back utopian thinking, obviously I know I won't do this on my own, but I just, I'd like to kind of put the idea out there that people should be presenting their ideas. There's a book from 1890, I got it on Google Play Books. It's called News from Nowhere. I got it for free, so you can get it from there for free as well. It's by a man named William Morris. And what I found really interesting about this book is it's a guy named William Guest who wakes up in his house, but he finds that he's gone to the future, and this future world is 2003 Britain. And this is kind of like a perfect socialist world. But while the people are uniformly happy, they're still individuals, so you don't get any of this idea of like, oh, how the left is going to collectivize everyone and make everyone think the same. There's many people who argue against the actual society that they're living in while William Guest is there. So it's kind of a, it's an interesting play on it. And even though you would think the book would be really slow, the wonder of finding the place where you're from so transformed actually kind of makes William Guest's journey kind of really interesting. So I kind of recommend this book. I think just some of the things that he couldn't see, like the fact that everyone still gets around in carriages driven by horses, is really interesting. To think of a London of 2003 where horses still rule the roads is fascinating. So if you get a chance to look at that book, look at it. I think it's great. And basically, I think that's about it for today. So just start thinking about how you'd like to begin to make the world a better place. Maybe try to put your ideas out there. That's it for me. It's not really a rant today. Have a great one. Bye.